All right, trying to get a walking road rant in this morning. I apologize for any traffic noise or wind. So, for example, trying to get this in quick. This is kind of a response to, or I guess an update. How about that? To Will Campbell, we're hearing that it is a grade 3. I think Breer reported it. Was it Monday Night Football? But anyway, today's Wednesday. I didn't see that yesterday about those reports. So I did an analysis video. It was the day after, the Bengals game. I did it early in the morning. And at that point, we only had like the rumors that it was just the MCL and that Will Campbell could be back before the end of the season. And the point of that video, which was, that's good that there's some rumors about that coming out. And that was before they confirmed it was MCL sprain. But that you have to keep in mind that just because they use the word sprain and they give you a timeline before the end of the year, makes you kind of think, oh, it's just like an owie, like a real bad ow. Oh, that's a bad sprain. I rolled my ankle. I fell on my wrist, a radial sprain, that could have been what it was, but it also doesn't eliminate the idea of it being a grade 3. And the words grade 3 sprain, everybody, again, use the word sprain. Don't think as much as a complete tear. Grade 3, regardless if it's a knee, an ankle, a shoulder, you say grade 3 and a ligament, the fibers are gone, ripped apart. There should be maybe something's still there in the instabilities as if there is no structural integrity. But the ligament either needs to be, healed or repaired. It's going to be prolonged, and the joint is, unstable. And that's obviously an issue. So Will Campbell having the grade 3 confirmed, that, his initial reaction, what we heard, or what we saw him coming out and being on the cart with the towel. I said if you see that happening, usually the doctor's saying, yep, that knee's moving a lot more than that. And Will Campbell, I think immediately, the way he responded to the injury, probably felt something, which when anybody who's ever had like a soft tissue, a ligament, muscle or something, something really acute injury, you could feel it, right? You feel, and sometimes hear, the initial pop, tear, and you feel, fibers and things moving around. You're like, oh, and then you could feel it right after. Like you stand up or you move and all of a sudden, like one side, just the feeling is different than the other, just how it's dangling there or being supported. So I think it was obvious that it was a grade 3. I know a lot of people are like, how'd you know that? I'm like, I don't know it, but like, hey, you see the knee, like I saw a different angle, you see the knee go in, see everybody's response. And my point of that video is not to say it was a grade 3. It's just that when you hear people say it's just a sprain and you'll be back at the end of the season, yeah, you can have a grade 3 sprain, a complete tear of the MCL, and you actually can still be back before the end of the season. Because everybody thinks, oh, it's a torn ligament in the knee. They instantly go to, oh, needs to be surgery. No, MCLs don't need surgery. That's the great part. You can do surgery if it's like the fibers and it's snapped and it's like the knee really caved in, and then the fibers get displaced and there's not enough, it's too big of a space to kind of bring the buttressing back and they can start to grow back. But thankfully the MCL has enough blood there that as long as the fibers are aligned and it's not like torn apart and shredded and flailing up, a good distance apart, the fibroblasts and everything will, the blood will get it enough so the body will naturally start healing it and you don't need surgery. So yay, because it's just the MCL. That's the great part. Multi-ligament, if it's the ACL, PCL, meniscus, yeah, he's probably done for the season and they're doing their best. Now, can he be back before the end of the regular season? That is the absolute best case scenario. If it's like, I guess if it is a grade 3, but it's, on the proximal tear, so it's like right towards the femur, your thigh, maybe in the middle, you could still do that, where there's still a lot of blood flow. Could it be, that's 6 weeks, because again, we're looking at a freak athlete, so his rehab process is going to be shortened compared to the average person. And also, this was a contact MCL, right? So this wasn't because his glutes or his hips or thighs or something is weak, or there's a bad movement pattern, there's imbalance, and it's like he tore because he slipped on ice and his knee went in. That's not what happened here, right? This isn't because he's weak. This is because of an impact, because another 300-pound dude plus some rolled into him, right? And he got hit there. Now, it still ends up in the same type of injury, but when he's coming back, why some people take so long to come back from like rehab is because the doctor keeps saying, dude, like, there's still instability because your thigh muscles, your medial glute can't control your thigh. Like your joint still is not stabilized because your muscles are so weak, you can't do it. And that's why some of these, everyday Joes, when you pop an MCL, it's like, well, non-contact, that's usually because there's some imbalance, there's some weakness there. Contact, at least you could say, the muscles were probably still strong enough. If they put him in like one of those foot leg braces, make him immobile, keep his legs straight, drain the blood, start doing all the rehab and modality processes possible. 2 weeks he's out of that, maybe 3 weeks, maybe like a week or two, he's out obviously in a DonJoy heavy brace, but he's still walking around. He's doing things. He's starting to work a little more advanced stuff than the average person. You can put him as a 6 week would be the absolute earliest he can possibly back to I shouldn't say that. 6 weeks would be the most optimistic timeline for him to return doing something football related. Contact, nope. Out in the field, nope. But again, someone might be technically correct with him being back before the end of the season. Now, for a normal timeline, I shouldn't say normal. Again, for an athlete that for a contact MCL, 10 to 12 weeks should be good. Even 8 weeks would probably be like if everything were for like Will Campbell freak athlete, because keep in mind, we saw him completely slide out, his right leg slide out when he was doing his drills at the combine. Knee went in, oh no. And he walked away and actually did more of his, he did the rest of the combine, right? So, or at least the drills. That's telling me that guy's got flexibility, strength. I think we could see like an 8 week, 9 week return. 10 week would be conference. Yeah, 9 weeks would probably be divisional. 10 weeks would be conference championships, and 12 would be, Super Bowl. 12 would be kind of a very generous, that's conservative timeline for him. Again, assuming if he hasn't had surgery, so I'm assuming right away that the fibers there, they say this is good to go, just let it rest and let it heal for a few weeks here and then get him going. So I would say conference championship, Super Bowl is in that area where we might be able to see him come back. I don't know. Not saying that's what's going to definitely happen, but that would be on timeline wise for just a plain MCL grade 3, decent athlete. He should be able to come back for that. And that doesn't mean like he's going to just instantly displace Vidarian Lowe. I will continue to wear my President of Vidarian Lowe fan club hat all the time. From the year he got here. Dude's a great man. And good human being, tough dude, has only shown improvement. Everybody wants, he sucks. Jesus, people. What was he, a 6th round draft pick? Came from Illinois. Even when he was at all the tape I've seen, that's like every year you go and look at it, he's only shown improvement. He's only shown improvement. Illinois, Vikings, the first year in the Patriots, last year, even though he had a rib issue and a shoulder, a torn labrum. I don't know. I'm sure there's somebody here listening to this that has had at least a bad shoulder injury, but if anybody in here has ever had a torn labrum on the shoulder, I haven't, thankfully, but been around an athlete I've been around plenty of labrums, like hip or shoulder, and Good luck just trying to do everyday normal activities without pain. Like a torn hip, you can't, I mean, shoulder, you can't sleep on that side. And even like just being on one side or the other, it doesn't really matter. You have to like basically lay on your back. Doing anything hurts. Then go try to, stop a 250, 300 pound dude that's trying to, with all his might and power, try to get past you and ripping on those arms and fighting those arms. I mean, I know there's some other issues besides technique and losing battles, but it was, give the guy, I don't want to say give him a break, but give him some respect. And then, let's be hopeful that he can be, our savior here for a few weeks. Give Will Campbell time. Let's everybody root for Vidarian Lowe to keep pushing off Will Campbell's time to return to maybe double digits. Maybe he is going to be 10-week recovery. And that'd be great for everyone involved. That means Vidarian Lowe is doing great. Will Campbell gets extra time. He's not rushing back. He's not feeling stressed that he needs to come back. And when he's ready, he can get in there, right? And that's, I guess, this next few weeks, it's so important to win all these games, even though it's we're getting in the playoffs. It's no, we want to push to get that first round, get the bye, get top seed, get home field advantage. All those things are going to obviously benefit the team overall, but that's definitely key for Will Campbell coming back. He doesn't have to travel, or he's with the team the whole way from start to finish the whole week. And again, just getting that bye, doesn't put the stress on anybody else, gives everybody else to lick their wounds. And we're not being stressed about, possibly practice squad guy coming in and having to be, the third tackle because you have Munford and we got Bryant, and I guess Caden Wallace can work in there too. I guess there is enough depth, but someone else goes down, which there's plenty of season left and plenty of snaps to possibly get another injury. So, I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But again, I guess to recap the analysis, which is no one's been wrong. Maybe some people are using technicality to, hide or mask the real reality that was probably a grade 3 sprain, known right away by both Will Campbell, the doctor, the coaching staff. Obviously, probably need to be confirmed that was just the MCL the following day. And now we're a week later, and it's we're getting some things out here. Kind of makes sense. Good thing is that even the worst case scenario of it just being an MCL is a good thing, but even the worst case for the MCL, it being completely torn, it's still got blood flow. It still can be, he can be back to playing, doing some football things in about a month. And yes, technically week 18 and beyond could be, out there doing something. Really good timeline would be divisional conference rounds, when we should probably start really, circling that in as the potential return for Will Campbell. Hopefully Super Bowl. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. Are you guys happy, concerned? What do you think what's going on with Vidarian Lowe? Let me know in the comment section below. If you guys like this content, please like and subscribe. And as always, thanks for watching.